So good day everyone. We're now going to discuss rectilinear motion. The learning objectives are to define rectilinear motion, explain the concept and type of rectilinear motion, identify and apply the equation of rectilinear motion in calculating the change in motion of a particle. So first, let's have the question number 1. And recall from statics, how do you mathematically represent the position of point B relative to position of point A as shown in the following rectangular coordinate system? We know that it will be represented as x sub B over A, which is in terms of coordinate system, y sub B over A, z sub B over A. So in terms of x dimension, since the positive axis represents the given coordinate system, so we will have the relative position of A to B will be for x negative 21, for y, so that would be positive 18, for z, so we will have z as positive 24. So therefore, the coordinate system position point B relative to point A will be quantity negative 21, positive 18, positive 24, or simply negative 21, 18, 24. So this is now the rectangular coordinate system of position point B relative to point A. From our static course, we will identify the position vector using this represented that. First, we need to establish a reference coordinate system. In this case, we will use the three-dimensional XYZ rectangular coordinate system. So the particle now has a coordinate of XYZ, and the position of the particle is represented by vector R. So meron tayong XYZ and vector R. That is drawn from the origin of the particle to the location of point P representing XYZ. So this position vector will be known as the position vector R. So position vector R is written in the Cartesian form of xi plus yj plus zk axis respectively. So as long as there's motion within the same coordinate system, position is a function of time. Quantity R of t is simply R, wherein it can be represented as function of time. So after some time, this particle now has moved to a new location in the new coordinate system, which is represented as p prime, x prime, y prime, z prime at a certain time duration. So p prime class means new position. It doesn't mean that this is a time derivative. So its position is now represented by a new position vector r prime. So therefore, to calculate for the change of position delta r, so it will be r prime minus r, which is defined as the displacement. So let's have here the velocity and acceleration. Velocity class is defined as the rate of change of the object's position. So we already know that from calculus. It is the time derivative of function position, which is v is equals to dr over dt. And acceleration is defined as the rate of change in the object's velocity. So it is time derivative of velocity or second derivative of position. So that will be dv over dt is equals to second derivative of position with respect to time. And please take note that both velocity and acceleration are vectors. So rectilinear motion means that the particle moves along a straight line. So as you notice class, we have here two particles represented by the time intervals t sub 1 and t sub 2. So if we want to set the coordinate system, so we can describe the position of the particle using position vector. And since rectilinear motion can simply set up one-dimensional axis along the path, so we choose the origin to be a convenient point and represent the position of vectors drawn from the origin and then s sub 1 and s sub 2. For the convenience, we will use this position as the origin O, and we will identify that at a certain time interval t sub 1, this will be the distance s sub 1, and t sub 2, we have distance s sub 2 for the time interval 2. And sometimes, at a certain period of time, since we have an origin, sometimes the direction of the particle does not move to the positive axis, but it also can move the negative axis, which is negative s sub 1. And we already know that the position, either vector or scalar, is only represented with function of time. So this only consists one equation. Unlike kapag erratic motion. Kasi kapag erratic motion, it is when the position function is a piecewise function that consists multiple equation. So, hindi na lang siya single equation. Pero mas ma-explain natin yan kapag nag-discuss na tayo ng erratic motion, which is also part of the rectilinear motion. The average velocity can be defined as the change in position over the change in time, which is simply delta S over delta T. And delta S class means displacement, not the total distance traveled. So that would be S sub 2 minus S sub 1 over T sub 2 minus T sub 1. As delta T approaches to 0, it becomes now an instantaneous velocity V, which is equals to ds over dt. So let's have an example based on the review of basic terminology. So sometimes class, we can use the word speed to identify it as the magnitude of velocity. Since speed class is non-negative, therefore this is a scalar quantity, not a vector quantity if we pertain to speed. So which means it doesn't have a direction. And another scalar quantity we sometimes use is distance traveled, S sub t or S. So this is the length of the actual path traveled, and it is not the same as displacement. So for example, the ball travels for 5, so you can see, for 5 meters to the right and moves back or returns to its original position for another 5 seconds. So since there is no change in the position of the ball, therefore displacement will be equal to 0. Likewise, since displacement is 0, kasi from the original and then the final position, there will be a result of 0. Therefore, the average velocity will also be 0. However, if we pertain to the total distance traveled, so that would be 5 meters plus another 5 meters equated to 10 meters. Therefore, the average velocity will be 10 meters, and for example, the duration of the time or the time interval is 5 seconds. So we will have 2 meter per seconds. In continuation, natutunan natin na ang average velocity ay na-define as the change ng object's position known as displacement over the change in time. And instantaneous velocity naman ay time derivative ng position function. So if sa time t sub 1, the object has a velocity of v sub 1, and sa time v sub 2, we have the velocity v sub, ibig sabihin, ang average acceleration can be defined as the change in velocity over the change in time, which is delta v over delta t, which is equals to v sub 2 minus v sub 1 over t sub 2 minus t sub 1. And as delta t approaches to 0, it becomes instantaneous acceleration, representing a is equals to dv over dt, known as the time derivative of velocity. And since velocity is time derivative of position, therefore acceleration can also be the second derivative of position with respect to time. So you can see, class, that when the acceleration vector is in the same direction as velocity, it is known as acceleration since the magnitude of the velocity is increasing. And when the acceleration vector is in the opposite direction of velocity, could be known as deceleration since the magnitude of velocity is decreasing. So therefore, class, as you notice, speeding up, moving forward, and speeding up in reverse motion, this is known as acceleration. Why? The direction of velocity and acceleration has the same direction. However, it depends if it will be positive or negative sign, since we need to establish the so-called coordinate system. But since there is no given coordinate system, we can just say that both these pictures indicates that they have an accelerating motion. So therefore, since we have a slowing down, the direction of velocity differs or is different from the direction of acceleration. Likewise, in this reverse motion. So therefore, this is deceleration or decelerating motion. So what are the three basic kinematic equations? We already introduced this in the introduction to dynamics. So we have here the first two equations wherein we derive that the third basic kinematics equation can be derived using the first and second equation. So we have here v is equals to ds over dt, a is equals to dv over dt, ad is equals to v dt. So these are the most basic kinematic equation. Also, please keep in mind that there are only two independent equations. So bakit two independent? Kasi, class, yung pangatlo na-derive lang galing dito sa dalawa. So let's have an example. So for example, the velocity of the particle moves along a straight line is represented by velocity. And velocity is given as a function of time. And the given function of time is t squared plus 2t, representing the unit of meter per second. And t represents seconds. So if its position is s is equals to 0 at time equal to 0, we are asked to determine the acceleration and position when time is equals to 4 seconds. So, paano ba natin isosolve? So, we can solve this by using the three basic kinematic equation, the first, second, and third. However, we need to identify which among these three are applicable. Since we are asked first to determine the acceleration, therefore, we can identify that the applicable equation should have acceleration. However, there are two equations that has acceleration. But take note that the given equation of acceleration using velocity, since they have both velocity, is represented as function of time. Therefore, we can't use the third equation since we need to use the equation that also represents function of time. So we can only use the second equation. So A is equals to dv over dt. How can we solve for the derivative? So first, we need to get the derivative of t squared plus 2t. Ma'am, bakit kukunin natin ang derivative? Kasi class, from the equation velocity, if you notice, velocity is equals to t squared plus 2t. And we know that acceleration is dv over dt, which means the derivative of t squared plus 2t all over dt. Ano ang derivative ng t squared plus 2t? That would be 2t plus 2. And wag kalimutan yung dt all over dt. So, maka-cancelled out yung dt from your differential calculus. So, that now becomes acceleration. Please take note, class, that this does not represent acceleration times time, but rather it represents only acceleration as function of time. So, simply letter A. And by substituting the time, which is 4 seconds, we will be able to get the acceleration as 10 meter per second. And we are not yet done since we are also asked to find the position. So, we will also compare again using the three basic kinematics equation. So, we have here 1, 2, and 3. And you will notice that we are asked to find for position. So, among the equation, the only equation that has position, which is represented as function of time, kasi ang given ay velocity, function of time, ay equation 1. Since ito walang time and ito walang position. So, therefore, we will use the first equation. And likewise, we will rearrange the equation. This becomes ds is equals to v dt. And substituting this equation, we have this function. And therefore, we can't apply differentiation. But rather, to eliminate the derivative, we need to apply integration from the limits initial time. Sabi dito, if time is 0, the position is also 0. And therefore, if time is t, position is s. Ma'am, bakit hindi natin direct nilagay yung mga value ng final position in order also to get the value at the intermediate locations? So, mas magandang kukunin muna natin yung equation. So, what is the integral of ds? Integral of ds is equals to s from limits 0 to s. So, therefore, this is simply s minus 0 or s. And on the left side, sa integral of t squared plus 2t, so that would be t cubed over 3 plus 2t squared over 2. So, we will have cancelled equation. So, this becomes t cubed over 3 plus t squared. But please take note, from 0 to time t. So, since it is 0, therefore, this is simply the equation as well. And likewise, class, take note, position is not multiplied by time. This only represents that position is a function of time. So, therefore, this is simply s. So, by substitution again, which is time equals to 4, we will be able to get 37.3. So, please take note, don't forget to indicate the units based on the given problem. And for the example number 2, so in this problem class, we have the acceleration of particle along a straight line, which is A represented as function of position, so which is not a function of time. Wherein S is in meters. If position of S equals to 0 and velocity V equals also to 0 at time equals to 0, we are asked to determine the velocity at distance S equals to 32 meters. So, what will be that value of time at that position as well? So, again, we need to compare the three basic kinematics equation. So, we have velocity as the unknown. The given is acceleration and position. Therefore, we will use the third equation. So, using the third equation, we can now solve the problem by substituting A, which is the square root of S ds, equated to VDV and indicating the initial values to the final value as variable S and V. So by applying the process, so you can use any other method, but I will try the simplest process, especially using the square root. So we know that square root can also be represented as S raised to 1 half ds. So by applying integration, so we know that this becomes S is equals to 3 halves 2 thirds. And from the limits of 0 to S, we can simply use the given equation. And on the right side, so we have the integral of v dv. So 0 to v. So this will be v squared over 2. And since the initial value is 0 and the final is v, so we can use the calculated equation. So we now have the equated value. And by rearranging the equation in terms of velocity, so rearrange natin, velocity is equals to, this will be 4. So, i-rearrange natin, cross product. So, we have 4 thirds S. So, take note, squared pa to. S raised to 3 halves. And by applying square root, likewise square root, we know that this becomes B squared raised to 1 half. This is also 4 third S 3 halves raised to 1 half. So, we will have here V is equals to, take note, since nasa loob din yung ating 4, so we have the square root of 4 over square root of 3. So, wag natin yan kakalimutan. And we know that S is also raised to 3 halves. So, we can use it as product kasi nasa product part siya. If you recall from our mathematics, so this becomes 3/4. And to rationalize, so we can simply multiply this by square root of 3 over square root of 3. So, therefore, the equation becomes square root of 4 is 2 since this is a perfect square all over 3 square root of 3 s raised to 3/4. So, yun na yung ating representation ng velocity. And you will notice, class, meron siyang s. It just means that velocity is represented as function of position and not time. So, therefore, you can just simply use the variable v. And substituting s, which is 32, we can get the velocity as 9.24 meter per second. And we are not yet done since we are also asked to find the time. So, we have the three basic kinematic equation, 1, 2, and 3. But we are finding for the value of time. So, the given acceleration is represented as function of position or distance. And we are asked to find time. However, based on the given equations, wala tayong acceleration, hindi pwede. Ito naman walang time, so hindi pwede. We can only use equation 2. However, we can't apply dv over dt. But we also know that acceleration, aside from dv over dt, can also be represented as the second derivative of position with respect to time. So, ibig sabihin, ito ang gagamitin natin. And take note, class, you can have your own solution process as long as you know how to apply the three basic kinematic equation. So, in order to have a lesser complicated process, if you recall from this problem, we already derived that velocity can be represented as 2 square root of 3 over 3 s raised to 3/4. And we know that getting the derivative with respect to time, it becomes acceleration. So, it is much easier instead of using the second equation. Therefore, it is better to use the first equation. And based on this first equation, we can now apply the derivative, which is ds over dt, by rearranging the equation in terms of its respective location. So, based from its respective location, we can rearrange the equation as dt to solve for time equals to ds all over 2 square root of 3s raised to 3/4. Or, we can rearrange the equation as 3 over 2 square root of 3s raised to negative 3/4 ds for easier integration process. So, the integral of dt and the integral of s. And for the integral of dt, we know that from the given initial condition at time 0 and time final and position 0, position final. Okay, so since we know that this is constant, so sa labas siya ng integration. So we will have 3 over 2 square root of 3. And we know for the rationalization process, square root of 3, so this becomes 3 square root of 3 over 6. So as a simplified value of the constant and integral of s raised to negative 3/4 ds. And apply the integration, so we will have s raised to 1/4 over 1/4 or simply 4s. And you can see here, 3 times 4 will be 12, divide 6, so that would be 2 square root of 3 s raised to 1/4. So, ibig sabihin, ito na ang ating result ng time. And upon substitution of s, which is equals to 16 meter, we will be able to get the time, which is 6.93. So, the next part of our discussion will be the rectilinear motion with constant acceleration. So, ito, halos feeling ko kabisado nyo na to and mandali lang tong i-solve since constant yung acceleration. So, we already know that the three basic kinematics equation for continuous motion is represented by these three equations, which are v is equals to ds over dt, a is equals to dv over dt, ads is equals to vdv. And since it is about constant acceleration, therefore, acceleration becomes a sub c at the initial velocity and initial position s sub o. So, for acceleration, if you notice, this is our second equation from the continuous motion. We can rearrange this equation as dv is equals to a dt. And since acceleration is constant, so a sub c dt. dv, so integral, which is constant, so therefore integral. So at velocity 0 to velocity v. And since wala namang negative time, so we have 0 time to time t. And the integral of dv is v from limit 0 to v. And acceleration, so that would be time 0 to time t. So since 0, so v minus 0, v is equals to a sub c t minus 0 t. And take note, usually, hindi laging 0 ang velocity. Kasi minsan, ang initial velocity ay hindi 0. Therefore, v can become v minus v sub 0 or v final minus v initial, which is a sub c time. Therefore, we can solve for the final time as v sub I plus a sub ct. Or may mga ibang libro na v is equals to v sub 0 plus a sub ct. Or may ibang libro naman na v is equals to uniform velocity plus a sub ct. Or that means we already now have the first equation for constant acceleration, basic kinematic equation. So galing lang pala siya dun sa continuous motion. And using the first equation, v is equals to ds over dt. So we can rearrange the equation as ds is equals to v dt. And we know that velocity or final velocity can be represented as initial velocity plus constant acceleration time dt. And applying the integration from initial position to final position, kasi minsan ang initial position hindi siya 0. But we know that in terms of time, this will be 0 to time t. So applying the integration process, we know that this becomes s minus s sub 0 kasi ang integral ng ds ay s, substitute yung s sub 0. We now have the equation. And based on the integration, so we can separate the equation as v sub 0 integral of dt 0 to t plus a sub c integral of t dt from 0 to time t. S minus s sub 0 will be v sub 0. So since the time is 0, so v sub 0 times t plus a sub c. And we know that the integral is t squared over 2. So, since ang limit ay 0 to t, so this becomes t squared over 2. So, pareho lang kasi 0 yung subtraction based on the substitution process. So, we now have s minus s sub 0, b sub 0 t plus a sub c or 1/2 a sub c t squared. Take note, yung subscript na c ay nagtutukoy lang as constant acceleration. So, pwede nyong gamitin as a na lang para ma-avoid ang confusion. So, gamit din natin yung pangatlo. Ganon din ang magiging process. So, if you recall, this is derived from first and second equation. So, gamit din ito, we will have A ds is equals to V dv. So A is constant, so A is integral of ds. So from position S sub 0 to S is equals to the integral of V dv from initial velocity to final velocity. So therefore, it becomes A S minus S sub 0 is equals to V dahil V dv. So therefore, V squared over 2 from the initial V sub 0 to V. So therefore, we have V squared over 2 minus V sub 0 squared over 2. So ilabas natin yung 2. That would be 1 half V squared minus V sub 0 squared. So pwede rin kasing ganun ang substitution. Ilalabas na yung constant na 1 half. And applying cross multiplication, we will be able to derive the equation as 2a. So since this is rate of change ng position, so pwede mong i-delta s. So 1 half, pero ito hindi pwede. So this still remains as b squared minus b sub 0 squared. And since nilabas na natin yung 1 half, so wala na dito yung 1 half kasi nilipat na natin siya sa kabila. So ibig sabihin, ang b squared pala ay pwedeng isolve using initial velocity squared plus 2a delta s. Or, pwede siyang s minus s sub 0. So, ibig sabihin, from the three basic kinematic equation of continuous motion, ito na ngayon ang gagamitin natin for constant acceleration. So, let's have an example. So, for example, we have a ball that was thrown upward in the air from the initial position of 1.2 meters above the ground. So, after daw ng 3 seconds, the ball returns to the ground. So, we are asked to determine the maximum height na ma-attain nito. First, to establish our coordinate system. And since rectilinear motion tayo, so hindi natin kailangan yung 2D at 3D, kundi kailangan lang natin ng origin. And it is better to establish the origin on the ground. Kasi sabi sa atin, so from the initial position daw, magta-travel pataas at babalik sa baba. At kailangan nating alamin kung ano yung pinakang maximum height na ma-attain. But we need to establish the coordinate system, which is not a 2-dimension, not a 3-dimension, but just the origin, since our discussion is about rectilinear motion. Based on the given free body diagram, we can now identify what are all the givens and the unknown. So, let's start here. At time 0, since wala tayong negative time at sabi sa atin after 3 seconds, so therefore, time t sub 0 will be 0. And we already know S sub 0 as 1.2 meters. And V sub 0, hindi sinabi kung ano yung initial velocity. So therefore, it is unknown. We cannot say that the initial velocity is 0 kasi walang sinabi sa problem. At the first position, which is the maximum location or maximum height, T sub 1 is unknown. Ma'am, bakit unknown? Kasi after 3 seconds daw, yung bola nasa ground. So therefore, ito yung 3 seconds. So ang T sub 1 ay unknown. Ang position na S sub 1 ay also unknown. Ano yung S sub 1? S sub 1 is what we call the maximum height, H. And yung B sub 1, given ba? Yes. Because sabi sa atin from our physics, so in order to get the maximum height, therefore, there will be no velocity that moves the ball upward farther than the ground. So, ibig sabihin, ito ay 0. And dito naman tayo sa final position. We already established that T sub 2 is already 3 seconds. And ano ang S sub 2? So, since we are discussing rectilinear motion, neglecting whether the ball moves horizontally, left or right. So, walang sinabing ganun. Since ang focus natin ay vertically, therefore, S sub 2 is 0 kasi nasa ground. Kasi ang sabi daw, returns to the ground. Walang sinabing nag-roll over. And we don't know the value of the velocity. So, unknown din to. So, therefore, ito yung ating mga given at unknowns. And we know that the constant acceleration is negative 9.81 meter per second squared, also known as the gravitational acceleration. Kasi nga, vertical. Kapag horizontal, that will be A sub C or A. And we establish that upward as positive. So, gagamitin lang natin yung tatlong equation ng basic kinematics. Pipiliin lang natin alin ang applicable. So, based on your analysis, so ang pinakang applicable class, tingnan natin. Kapag hinanap ang position, alamin natin kung alin ang isa lang ang unknown. Based sa mga given, S. For example, use natin muna as S sub 1. Hanggang S sub 1 tayo. Unknown yung S sub 1. Ang initial, syempre 0. Ang velocity 0 ay unknown din. So, ibig sabihin, dalawa na. So, hindi applicable. Kung B sub 1 naman, ito ay 0. Pero ito ay unknown. Yung time date, which is time T sub 1, unknown din. So, ibig sabihin, hindi pwede. Likewise, ito rin. So, as you continue analyzing the problem, so it is better to use the position ng ating object from 0 to 2. Bakit 0 to 2? Ang pinakamadali, identify natin. Kapag 2, ito ay 0. Kapag S sub 0, ito ay 1.2. B sub 0, unknown. Time, which is T sub 2. So, this will be 3. Time, this is also 3. Acceleration, negative 9.81. So, ibig sabihin, masosolve natin yung initial velocity. Kasi isa lang unknown. Pero alamin din natin to, B sub 2, 0, 2. B sub 2, given ba? Unknown. So, hindi pwede. Kasi, unknown na nga yung 2, unknown pa yung initial. So, hindi ito applicable. Lalo na din ito kasi B sub 2 pareho din. Hindi applicable. So, ang pinaka-applicable lang pala ay ito. So, ibig sabihin class, nasa sa inyo kung paano nyo i-analyze ang problem. Kasi ito lang daw ang pwedeng gamitin. So, likewise, substitute natin, we will be able to get the initial velocity, 14.3 meter per second. Pero hindi yun yung pinapahanap. Kung nakuha na natin ito, B sub 0, which is now 14.3 meter per second. Therefore, so we can now try to solve S sub 1. Applicable kaya ito? Tingnan natin. B sub 1. Nope. Unknown. Ay, meron. Pwede. Kasi 0. Initial given. Constant given. Position. S minus S sub 0. Ano yung S sub 0? 1.2. Ang pwedeng gamitin ay third equation. Katulad kanina, third equation, direct substitution. So, we will be able to get S sub 1. So, we already know how to apply constant acceleration. So, the last part of rectilinear motion class is the erratic motion. With motion graphs, we already know the three basic kinematics equation from our rectilinear motion. Kasi class, hindi natin gagamitin sa erratic motion yung tinatawag na constant acceleration formula. Kasi applicable yun as direct substitution only. Hindi siya applicable sa erratic motion since erratic motion includes the use of equation. So, i-apply dito yung derivative at integration. Take note class, since position only has a one equation that is represented as function of time, therefore, we can solve the velocity as the first derivative of function of time and acceleration as the second derivative function of time. However, we also know that from our discussion, ang acceleration hindi lang function of time. Pwede rin siyang function of position and function of velocity. Yun ang acceleration. So, ibig sabihin, ang velocity class, pwede rin siyang i-represent hindi lang function of time, kundi function of position. So, yun lang ang kailangan yung tandaan. Position lang ang pwedeng gamitan ng isang equation, which is function of time. So, let's recall first the continuous motion, wherein we established that position is represented as function of time, which is only one equation. So, kung ang position ay represented ng 15t minus 150, which is represented in meters, and we try to graph it in an ST graph. So, by substituting the value of time, for example, time is 0, we know that the result is negative 150. If time is 5, we know that the result of the given value will be 75. So, we have here 0. Kasi nga, if time is 10, so 150, 150. And therefore, plotting the graph represents this straight line. Ma'am, bakit straight line? So, kita naman class sa slope. Positive yung slope. Therefore, upward. And likewise, if you recall from your mathematics, this is simply y is equals to mx plus p. Hindi linear ang graph. And we know that s representing function of time, we can solve for velocity, which is ds over dt, known as the first derivative of function of time. Therefore, we simply get the derivative. At ang derivative ay 15. Ibig sabihin, pag plinat natin, that would be horizontal line. Kasi nga, constant velocity na siya. At kapag pinuha ulit natin ang acceleration, which is dv over dt, known as the second derivative with respect to time, that would be second derivative of the function of time, or simply the derivative of 15, which is 0. Therefore, the graph will be at 0. Yun ang continuous motion, kasi isa lang yung equation. So, recall ulit natin ang continuous. Gamit naman ang t squared minus 30t plus 175. If you notice, this is a quadratic equation. And we know that if we plot a quadratic equation using time from 0, therefore, we should have a parabola. Hindi lang natin alam kung it will be opened upward or downward. So, let's plot the given value. If time is 0, 175. So, nandito. And if time is 5, so we have 50. So, dito siya. And kapag naman siya 10, so meron tayong negative 25. So, as you continue, we will have the graphical representation of a parabola that opens upward. Likewise, katulad kanina, Ganun ulit, derivative. So, this becomes 2t minus 30. I-plot ulit natin, it becomes a straight line. Likewise, derivative ulit. So, constant na. So, you will notice, class, from parabola, naging straight line, naging constant. Okay, so that's continuous motion. Pero pag erratic motion, iba. Ibig sabihin, piecewise. So, you need to be careful for the beginning and end of each time period. Kasi class, ang position, pwede siyang function of time, pero sa bawat period of time hanggang nth equation. Ganon din to. Ganon din to. So, ibig sabihin, ito pwede siyang function of time. Function of time. Pag nag-start sa position, velocity, acceleration. Or pag nag-start ng acceleration hanggang position, dapat sila ay consistent na function of time. Kasi kapag hindi siya function of time, kapag function of position, hanggang velocity lang yan. Kasi walang position as function of position. Meron lang function of time. At kapag naman in terms of velocity, ganun din. Hanggang acceleration lang yan. Kasi wala namang velocity is equals to function of velocity. Meron lang function of time or function of position. Sabi sa example natin, meron daw object that travels to a straight path. The initial position is equal to 0. And the initial velocity is 0. And the acceleration is in meter per second squared. Acceleration is a function of time. We are asked to construct the ST, BT, and AT motion graphs. Based on the piecewise function that the acceleration is a function of time. Na from 0 to 10 seconds, ang function of time daw ay 0.40. So, ibig sabihin, mx. Kasi y is equals to mx. Pero yung y ay yung acceleration. And sa 10 seconds to 20 seconds daw, 2.4. And sa final time daw na 20 to 30 seconds ay 0. If we want to plot the given functions based on each interval, 0 to 10, using acceleration, we will have 0.4 times 0. So that would be 0. 0.4, for example, 5, that would be 2. Likewise, pag 10, that would be 4. And we need to connect the dot. That will be the representation of the 80 graph. And kapag naman 2.4, sabi natin, straight line na nasa 2.4. Likewise, 0. So therefore, this is now our 80 graph. But please take note, class, na ang ating 80 graph, meron tayong invisible line that connects each graph. But please take note, this is not included in the solution process. Only the solid lines. So naglalagay lang tayo ng hidden line in order to connect the representation of values of acceleration for certain period of time. Okay, based on 80 graph. Now, how can we solve for the VT graph? So, let's first have the acceleration. We know that acceleration from the continuous motion, kasi sabi natin, class, the three basic kinematic equation will be used for continuous motion and erratic motion. Kasi hindi pwedeng gamitin yung sa CA kasi ito ay direct substitution. So, we have acceleration equals to dv over dt. And since we are asked to find the graph of ST, BT, and AT graph, dahil tapos na natin ang AT, we can solve for VT. Kasi class, from S to velocity to acceleration, that will be differentiation or differential calculus. Kasi pag acceleration, papuntang velocity, papuntang position, that would be integral calculus or integration. Since nag-start tayo as A based on the given, kaya nakagawa ng 80 graph. Therefore, we need to solve for velocity by applying integration. How can we solve that? Using the three basic kinematic equation. Rearranging, that would be dv is equals to a dt. So, we can now solve for the integration process. And by each interval. So, sa bawat interval, class, meron tayong 0 to 10. So, ang 0 to 10, ang equation na gagamitin ay 0.40. Therefore, dv is equals to 0.40 dt. We can now solve for the value of the integration. So, that would be integral of b. Integral of time. Take note, ang time daw ay 0 to 10. So, 0 to 10 seconds. At ang velocity naman daw, sabi sa atin kanina, ang initial position ay equal sa 0. Ang initial velocity ay equal din sa 0. Therefore, this is also 0. At ang velocity ay v. Ma'am, bakit hindi mo direct na nilagay yung value ng v? Kasi class, yun yung hinahanap or hahanapin natin to plot the VT graph. So, ibig sabihin, integrate natin. Anong integral ng dv? That would be v from 0 to v. So, that is simply v minus 0 or v equals to 0.4. Integral ng t dt, that would be t squared over 2, which is 0 to to 10. And take note class, dito sa part na to, hindi natin pwedeng gamitin na direct na ilagay ang 10. Ma'am, bakit? Paano natin mapaplot yung ibang values of time? So, we simply use variable t. So, therefore, dahil 0 naman yung initial, so that would be 0.4 divided 2, so that would be 0.2 t squared. So, ibig sabihin, yun na ang ating equation. And we can now plot the value. Ma'am, paano i-plot? Ganito yung class. Kapag 0, syempre, 0. Kapag 5, so 5 squared is 25. So, 25 times 0.2, that would be 5. So, ibig sabihin, kung ito ay 20, so dito lang siya, 5. And likewise, kapag ito naman daw ay 10, so 100, so 0.2, so that would 20. So, ibig sabihin, class, ang graph natin ay ito. And you will notice, class, based on this graph, at dahil ito ay squared, makikita mo na sila ay nagre-represent ng spandrel. Ano yung spandrel? If you recall, class, from our mathematics, y is equals to kx raised to n. So, class, importante ito eh. Pag walang kasunod, maganda to, y. Recall natin ha, n is equals to 0. Ibig sabihin, x raised to 0 is 1. Therefore, constant lang yung ating k. And ibig sabihin, meron lang tayong horizontal line, which is yung constant na value ng k, kung ano man yung value ng k. Kaya nga siya, class, kapag ito ay n, ang area nito, pag kinuha natin, ang area ay equal sa 1 over n plus 1 base times height. Dahil yung n ay 0, 1. So, 1 over 1 base times height. So, base times height. So, yun yung area. Ang height yung k. Yung base ay yung time. Kung ito ay x and y, yung x ang base. So, ibig sabihin, ito yung height, which is yung k. Next, paano naman kung ang n ay equal sa 1? So, kung ang n ay equal sa 1, so, ibig sabihin, x raised to 1, so may value na yung x. So, ibig sabihin, ang equation mo na ay y is equals to kx, which is straight line or incline. So, paano kukunin yung area nito? O, edi yung area, di ba, a 1 over 1 plus 1 BH. Kaya nga siya 1 half BH. Yun ang rules ng spandrel. So, ibig sabihin, pag ang n naman ay 2, ito na siya. So, ibig sabihin, kaya siya merong tinatawag na 0 degrees curve, 1 degree curve, 2 degrees curve. Kasi yun yung tumutukoy sa n. So, kung ang n ay 2, ibig sabihin, y is equals to kx squared. So, ibig sabihin, pag kinuha yung area nito, a will be equal to 1 over 2 plus 1, which is 3 base times height. So, yun lang, class. Recall lang sa mathematics. So, baka magamit natin. Saan natin pwedeng magamit? Kapag meron tayong equation na halos similar sa ganito. Ito ay representation ng spandrel. Okay, so we now have this equation. Next is yung sunod naman na time interval. Ano yung sunod na time interval? From 10 to 20 seconds. Pero, iba na ang acceleration. Ang acceleration na daw ay equal sa 2.4. Take note, a is equals to dv over dt. Rearrange. We will have dv is equals to a dt. dv is equals to a, which is 2.4 dt. But please be careful ng ating range. Take note, class. Sabi sa atin, ang initial time na daw ay 10 to 20 seconds. So, 10, 20 seconds. Kahit na ang final time ay 20 seconds, we will still use the variable t instead of 20 seconds. Sa velocity, class, hindi na natin gagamitin yung initial velocity na 0. Alin naman ang gagamitin? O ano ba ang nakuhang velocity sa time 10? E di 20 hanggang b. So, therefore, the integral of b will be b limits 20 and b. So, b minus 20. And we will have 2.4. Ano ang integral ng dt? So, that will be time. So, that will be time initial 10 to t. So, we will have 2.4 times t minus 10. So, we have b minus 20. So, b is equals to 2.4 t minus 24 plus 20. Therefore, velocity is equals to 2.4 t minus 4. At kapag plinat natin, class, dapat kung ang time daw ay 10. So, 2.4 times 10 minus 4. So, ito ay 20. So, dapat pareho pa rin ang result. 20. Yun ang pang-check nyo na tama yung inyong equation. Next, time naman daw ay 20. So, 2.4 times 20 minus 4. So, we will have 48 minus 4. So, that would be 44. So, ibig sabihin, yun na yung graphical representation. And take note, is straight line. Ma'am, bakit straight line? Yung nakuha nating equation, mx plus b, which is straight line. Okay, so, tapos na tayo sa last interval. Anong sunod na time interval? 20 to 30 seconds. So, that would be a is equals to db over dt. So, db is equals to a dt. Ano daw ang a? 0. 0. dt. Ano ang v? dv. Initial. Take note, hindi yan automatic na magsi-0. Ma'am, bakit? Kasi, ano daw yung velocity sa time na 20 hanggang 30. Pero ang gagamitin, variable t. Anong sa 20? Sabi daw, 44. 44 hanggang v. So, ibig sabihin, v limits 44 to v, ang integral, which is v minus 44. And 0, so ibig sabihin, kahit yan mag t minus 20 dahil may 0, so 0. Therefore, velocity is 44. So, yun yung ating value. So, straight line, horizontal. Kasi nga, if you notice, ito ay y is equals to k, or yung tinatawag na y is equals to constant, or c, sa mathematics. So, ibig sabihin, nakapag-plot na tayo, class, ng VT graph at kanina, AT graph. So, anong sunod? ST graph. So, for ST graph, gagamitin na natin, class, yung na-derive natin sa velocity. Kasi nga, ano sabi natin? From A to V to S. Ibig sabihin, sila ay integral calculus. Tapos na sa A, B, S naman. So, para mapunta sa S, dapat gamitin mo yung sa velocity na yung mga na-derive natin equation kanina sa bawat time interval. So, ganun ulit. Gagamitin na natin hindi na yung A is equals to dV over dt, kundi V is equals to ds over dt para ma-rearrange natin as ds is equals to v dt. At isa-substitute natin. So, unang time interval, ds is equals to v, ano yung v? 0.2 t squared dt. Integral. O, take note. Sabi daw, kapag position daw sa time 0, 0 or initial, and ito din daw ay 0. So, ibig sabihin, ito ay 0 hanggang s, at ang time ay 0 to 10. Pero ang gagamitin, variable t. Para ma-solve at ma-verify nyo din yung sa bawat time interval na sa range. So, that would be s. So, dahil ang limit, so s lang siya. So, we have 0.2. So, this becomes t cube over 3. 0 to time t. So, ito ang gagamitin natin. So, that would be 0.2 divide 3 is equals to 1 over 15 t cube. So, ito na yung ating equation. So, we can now plot the values of s. So, start sa 0 kasi 0 to 10 yung time. Kung 0 daw, ang value ay 0 kasi nga product lang. So, you will realize itong equation natin ay kx raised to 3. So, cubic. So, kaya pa-curve yung plot natin. And, syempre, pag 10, multiply mo lang. So, 10 cube. So, 1,000. So, mamumove to ng tatlong decimal place. So, 66.7. So, dahil cubic, so, ibig sabihin, ang plot natin ay third degree curve. So, mas maganda kung lalagyan nyo kung second, third, or fourth degree curve. Pwede naman kahit hindi kasi meron naman siyang equation. Malalaman naman kung tama o mali base sa equation. Next, 2.4 t minus 4. Kasi alam natin na ito ay ds is equals to v dt. So, we have dt is equals to ds. Integral. Ang time na natin ay 10 to 20 seconds. So, 10 to 20. So, sabi natin, gagamitin pa rin natin time. And, ano yung s natin? Ang initial, hindi na natin gagamitin, kundi ito na, 66.7. Or, mas maganda kung ano man yung equivalent fraction kasi hindi pa tapos yung solution process. Pwede na siya dito as the result, pero sa solution process, mas maganda pa din yung naka-fraction. So, sa ngayon, dahil wala akong fraction, so, ito ang gagamitin natin. Kasi 10 seconds. So, ito ang velocity base sa graph. So, this is s. So, we have integral. So, this is s minus 66.7, which is equals to, anong integral? So, this will be 2.4 t squared over 2. So, that would be 1.2 t squared minus 4t. So, ang limits ay 10 to t. So, we will have here 1.2 t squared minus 4t minus, we have 100 times 1.2. So, kasi 10 squared, isa-substitute natin. 10 squared times 1. So, that would be 120. So, 120 minus 40. So, yun yung ating representation, s minus 66.7. So, s becomes 1.2 t squared minus 40. So, meron tayong 120 minus 40. So, negative 80. So, we have negative 80 plus 66.7. So, we will have negative negative 13.3. So, ito na yung ating equation. So, kung meron kayong solution nito na naka-fraction, much better. So, yun yung ating derived S. Ma'am, paano mati-check ulit? Ganun ulit. Substitute natin yung 10. So, 100. So, this becomes 120. So, this becomes 40. Negative 13.3. So, ito ay 80 minus 13.3. So, babalik ka sa 66.7. So, tama yung equation. So, ganun ulit. I-substitute nyo lang yung 15 at saka yung 20. Itong makukuha natin na value. So, if I'm not mistaken, this is already rounded up. So, pwede naman gamitin yung naka-decimal as much as possible pag nagpa-plot ng graph. Pero kapag dito sa equation, mas maganda yung naka-fraction kasi mas exact. And ganun ulit class, sa interval naman ulit na ito. So, ds is equals to bd. So, ano ang ds? So, that will be b is 44 dt. So, integral ulit. Sabi naman dito ay time ay 20. So, ano yung sa 20? So, we have 387. And then, ano naman yung time? So, time t. Ano naman yung sa s? S pa din. So, s minus 387 is equals to 44. Integral ng time 20 to time t. So, that would be s is equals to 44t minus 20. Kasi ito na yon. And then, plus 387. So, we will have s is equals to 44t minus, so 20 times 44. So, negative 880 plus 387. So, we have 44t minus 493. So, yun na yung ating equation. So, ibig sabihin, class, ipa-plot ulit natin sa time na 20 para ma-check. So, 44 times 20 minus 493. So, ipapakita ulit yung result which is 387. So, ganun ulit, i-plot sa 30 and you will realize, class, ito ay mx plus b. So, ibig sabihin, straight line. So, kapag 30 naman, substitute nyo lang yung time na 30. So, meron kang 827. So, straight line na siya. So, ibig sabihin, itong una, third degree curve. Ito namang pangalawa, second, ito ay first degree. Tapos na nating i-plot yung equation. So, ito yung tinatawag nating piecewise function. So, ito yung kaninang pinakita natin na iba't ibang piecewise function or equation. So, dahil nga, class, from acceleration, dito tayo nag-start ang solution. From first degree, 0 degrees, 0 degrees. Makikita nyo, from first degree, naging second degree. Yung 0 degrees, naging first degree. Ma'am, bakit yung dito 0 degrees pa rin? Kasi nga 0 yung value. Kaya nagkaroon lang siya ng another established na horizontal. And then nag-increase siya. Third degree, second degree, first degree. Kasi nga ang process na ginamit ay integration pag ganun. So from A to B to S. Kasi pag derivative, kukunin mo lang yung slope. So example natin to from position. Sample natin papunta ng velocity kasi pinakamadali yan. So we can apply rise over run. So 827 minus 387 over 30 minus 20. Kasi rise over run. So, makikita nyo na ang slope ay 44. So, ibig sabihin, dahil ang slope ay 44 at ito ay first degree, magiging 0 degrees. Kasi constant yung nakuha natin at hindi equation nung rise over run. Kasi pwede itong i-apply din yung point slope form. Nakadepende kasi yan sa equation. So, ibig sabihin yun ang sa derivative. Kaya makikita nyo, ano yung rise over run nito? 44 minus 44, 0. O, diba? Yun naman yung sa differential calculus. So, we also have other method, yung tinatawag na moment area, na pwede natin i-apply yung pagkuha. Ito, hindi nyo to kailangan i-memorize. Direct tayo sa example. Gamitin natin yung same problem, na kung saan, na-plot natin itong acceleration. Take note, class, kailangan yung laging tatandaan. Ang moment area method, magagamit lang kapag ang method mong ginamit ay integration or integral calculus. Ma'am, bakit A to B to S? Bakit ang pwedeng magamit lang ay moment area sa integration? Sabi kasi sa atin, integration is simply finding the area under the curve. Pwede hanapin lang pala natin yung area. Kaya nagkakaroon tayo dito ng invisible line. Area 1, area 2, area 3 under the curve. So, ibig sabihin, kapag pala differentiation S to B to A, hindi pwede ang area. Ang pwede mong gamitin ay finding the slope of the curve. Kaso, mahirap hanapin ang slope ng curve kapag hindi na siya straight line. So, gagamitin mo pa rin yung proper way ng pag-differentiate using function of time. Kasi ang pinaplot natin ay AT, VT, ST, graph. So, try natin yung area moment. Ano ang area 1? Area 1, so A1 will be equal to 1 half base is 10 minus 0, times 4 minus 0. Kasi ito, base times height, triangle, 4 minus 0. So, that would be 40 divide 2. So, we have 20. So, makikita nyo class, yung result natin, pareho nung kanina. So, balikan natin yung kanina. So, makikita nyo, 20. So, yun na, second degree curve. Next, area 2. Area 2 is base, which is 20 minus 10. Ano ang height? So, that would be, ano yung height natin nito? Ito ay 2.4. So, that would be height is 2.4 minus 0. So, we have 2.4 times 10. So, that would be 24. But, please take note class, ang pagplot ay area 1 plus area 2. Kaya, 20 plus 24 will be 44. So, ibig sabihin, pag tinignan natin sa plot, 34. Next is area 3. Area 3, walang undercurve kasi nasa ano na siya, nasa axis. So, ibig sabihin, this is 0. Kaya, ang area 1 plus area 2 plus area 3, that would be 44 plus 0, 44. Kaya, makikita nyo sa graph, ito ay 44. Next is, ganun ulit. So, ang pagbabasihan na natin, yung graph naman doon. So, gamitin natin to para nakikita natin. And you will see class, yung equation natin kanina dito, kung babalikan natin base dito, makikita nyo dito sa velocity, ito ay spandrel, which is kx squared. Kaya pwede nating i-apply yung pagkuha ng area na in-explain ko kanina na n plus 1 base times height. Saan ang n ay 2. So, ibig sabihin, balikan natin yung graph. Ang pagkuha ng area 1 will be area 1 is equals to 1 over n. Ano yung n? 2. Kasi second degree curve. Take note ha. Mas maganda pa rin pong gamitin yung mismong equation kesa nung moment area. Kasi minsan nagkaka-error lalo na dahil ang formulang area 1 over n plus 1 BH applicable lang po ito kapag spandrel. Ibig sabihin kx raised to n lang. Ibig sabihin wala siyang karugtong. So we have n. Ano yung n natin? 2 plus 1. Ang base natin ay 10 minus 0 times 20 minus 0. So ibig sabihin meron tayong 10 times 20, 200 divide 3. So 200 over 3. So ibig sabihin 66.7. So ito na yon, 66.7. Ano ang area 2? Area 2 is trapezoid. So 1 half. Ang base 1, base 2 na yung height. So, ang base niya ay 20 minus 10. Ang height na ay height 1, 44 minus 0 or 44 at 20 minus 0. So, plus 20. So, ibig sabihin, meron tayong 10. So, we have 64 times 10, 640. So, divide 2. So, we have 320. So, ibig sabihin, area 1 plus area 2 will be equal to 66.7 plus 320. It will be equal to 386.7 or 387 dahil naka-round up na. Next, ganun ulit. Area 3 is a rectangle. So, area 3 is 44 times 30 minus 20. So, 10. So, 440. So, area 1 plus area 2 plus area 3 will be equal to, kung ito ay magiging approximate na as 387, so we will have 7, 2, carry 1, 7, 8, 827. So, ibig sabihin class, that's how you apply the moment area method. So, that ends our discussion for rectilinear motion. Thank you.